Today we have with us Iltija Mufti, who is the media advisor to Party President Mehbooba Mufti, and now she has also made her political debut on Kashmir's dicey political landscape. Welcome, Iltija.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So first question is that you're connecting with women. We have seen that during your campaign, you especially address women and youth.
Yeah.
So what are you telling them?
I am not just telling them things, I'm asking them how they are. Gauhar Saab, you know that women are so neglected. They run homes, they bring children into this world. They have so much responsibility, yet they are completely neglected when it comes to politics. I'm just not talking about being an MLA or MP. Even when you see rallies, you see political meetings, you'll see youngsters, but women are nowhere to be seen. And I find that very worrying because women are 50% of your population. You know, they have so much stress. They bear this burden disproportionately. So my purpose here is to ask them, how are you doing? Is everything okay? And the minute you say that, they have so much to share, they just offload everything on you. And I think that itself makes a difference, because when you ask someone how they're feeling, that in itself touches the chord somewhere.
So what has been the response from the youth, the youngsters, women? What are they telling you?
The response towards me is quite phenomenal. They're obviously very affectionate, but what's also very worrying is that they feel helpless. And you know, there's this impression here that politicians create that the women, the people are their slaves, because so many women tell me in Kashmiri that we are your servants, and I tell them that no, you're not. I am supposed to do your khidmat. I have to serve you. So when you talk to them, they talk about things like inflation, unemployment, subsidies being cut, about how difficult it is for them to run their homes. Some of them are running their homes on an income of 5,000 a month. That's nothing. We've seen how our economy suffered in the past decade. So imagine how hard it must be for them to run their homes. So many of them are half widows. So many of them have been widowed. Their husbands have died. Their husbands cannot take care of them. They are incapacitated. So it's very worrying. They start crying when they see me. They tell me, just do something for us. We don't even have food to fill our children's stomach with.
So if we talk about this Anantnag Rajouri parliamentary seat, first the gerrymandering, the delimitation, and how like 7 assembly segments of Rajouri have been added, and you have been campaigning in all these areas. So now there's a deferment. The elections will take place on the 25th of May. So how do you see this deferment? Because the PDP has said in its official statements that the decision, you did not like the decision. So what has been your objection actually?
Well, in 87, we saw brazen rigging on the day of election. Here, we are seeing rigging in the run-up to the elections. Delimitation was a way to rig the election to skew the balance in favor of BJP. And when that didn't inspire enough confidence in them to have their own candidates, they deferred the polls. Because according to them, not according to them, they knew that there was a massive wave in favor of Mehbooba ji, and they're petrified of her. You know, they talk about a 56-inch chest, which is not true, because they're petrified of her. They don't want her entering the parliament, and they knew that if the elections had taken place on time, there was a 99% chance that she was going. But now we will make sure that 100% she goes, and she goes with a bigger margin.
Since now you're also looking after, like you're a media advisor to Mehbooba Mufti, her critics are saying that Mehbooba Mufti had coalition with the BJP.
Yeah.
And Wahid Para, who is your candidate for Srinagar parliamentary constituency, he also said yesterday in Tral, South Kashmir, that there have been mistakes by the PDP, especially joining hands or having an alliance with the BJP. So how is that communication going with the voters and your support base?
You know, I think that the people understand that the mandate was such that we had no choice but to ally with the BJP. And in politics, what happens is that sometimes your intention is good, but the end result is not that good. But I think as far as the intention was, their intention was concerned, Mufti Sahab and Mehbooba ji's, they wanted to moderate the BJP, because Mufti Sahab had worked with Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji as well, who took phenomenal radical steps like opening of bus routes between, you know, Muzaffarabad and Uri. This was unimaginable even under a Congress Prime Minister. But he thought just like he had moderated Vajpayee ji to a certain extent, he would have had that same effect on Modi ji, which was not true. So their intention was clear to begin with, but so many years have passed. It's been a decade since that election. People have forgotten that. They have moved on. They realize that the current despair that they find themselves in, they have no choice but to elect Mehbooba ji. Because if you look at the other politicians from other political parties, they've done bungling. They've been involved in massive corruption scandals. So even if they want, they cannot speak fearlessly.
Last two questions. One is the BJP's argument is that parties like the PDP or even the National Conference, they are familial, political dynasties. What is your take on that?
I mean, come on, it doesn't even deserve a response. Have you seen the kind of parivar they promote? Recently, you know, that wrestler, federation body, I forgot his name. That man, Brij Bhushan, they've given his son the mandate. So they've taken the mandate from the father, who's a rapist, allegedly a rapist, accused of grave sexual offenses, and they've given it to his son. So Parivad is fine when you're distributing mandates, and they have Anurag Thakur, Piyush Goyal. I mean, I could write poems and reams of pages I can fill up. So जब वो करते हैं तो ठीक है, जब हम करते हैं hypocrisy है. I have no shame in the fact that I'm Mehbooba ji's daughter, and I'm sure she has no shame. She's proud of the fact that her father was Mufti Muhammad Sayyid. Why should we not be proud of who we are?
So one last question is, when the PAGD, People's Alliance for Gupkar Declaration, was formed, so there was allegation against parties like Sajad Loans People's Conference or Apni Party, Alta Bukhari, or even Ghulam Nabi Azad's DPAP, Democratic Progressive Azad Party, that they are ABC teams of the BJP. But then now National Conference has alleged that PDP is also part of the BJP, so to speak, a proxy of the BJP. But in that sense, every party has in some way or other worked with the BJP in the past.
Yeah.
So how do you address this, dichotomy?
Well, first of all, it's quite sad. The political narrative, the discourse in Jammu Kashmir has fallen so low that gaaliyan dena bas baki hai. Jaise traffic mein log, you get stuck and you start abusing each other. We are literally, unfortunately, at that point. And in my campaign, I've made a concerted effort not to stoop to that level, because I feel that at a point where our people are in so much despair and despondency, it's not going to help pointing fingers at each other, because none of us here are perfect. We've all made mistakes. It doesn't help. You're just expending your energy on the wrong things. And you spoke about the NC. As far as other political parties are concerned, I don't know if they know, but their own workers also have a soft corner for Mehbooba ji, because they know that Mehbooba ji has fearlessly spoken.
So now let me put you in a spot and tell me, if you are a astrologer, or maybe a future fortune teller.
Yeah.
So who is going to win this Anantnag Rajouri seat?
Of course it's going to be Mehbooba ji. And you fight an election to win. I am not here to lose. I am here to help her win, because she deserves to win. I am not saying this because she's my mother. I have great faith in her as a political leader. I have seen her political trajectory, and she's somebody who always walks the talk. And she's a bold voice, she's a fearless voice, she's an audacious voice, and that's exactly what the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
You often say that she's the only man in Kashmir politics, especially in the last 5 years.
Yeah, do you not agree? I mean,
I'm asking.
Do you not agree? I'm not a feminist per se, but I feel that, a man is supposed to societally have all these traits, and he's supposed to be strong, and he's supposed to be outspoken and bold and fearless. But come on, we see the male politicians here. They don't have that kind of courage. In fact, most of them are cowards. They hide in a hole when it comes to speaking about issues. My mother is the only person who goes out there, and she puts herself, out there, and she says what she needs to say without caring a damn about the costs that she'll have to incur. And she's paid a huge cost, mind you. So my mother is the only man in the political landscape of Jammu and Kashmir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this was Iltija Mufti speaking to us, and she is very confident that the PDP will secure a win on the all-important Anantnag Rajouri seat.